It's so true. So true. Sleep is just the best. Big fan of Sleep. Big fan of Sleep. We need a pro player called Sleep. All right. We don't have a pro player called Sleep in this match. But if we did, might have a bit of a dream, maybe a nightmare. But we know one thing for sure. That player would be asleep in the dark. Whew. Hot transition. Hot transition. That was an absolutely classic caster pun. And that's it. Look at that. Intro's done. Game 1 of the grand finals. Boom. Who needs anything else than that? Actually, note of intros. Is Classic on a team right now? I don't think he is. No. Not currently on a team. Always sad. But Dark is on Dragon Phoenix Gaming, so at least we have one team represented. Some big team news recently is Cyril left Ents, joined Basilisk. Kind of crazy. I think they were together like 7 years. And Basilisk is, I believe, a fairly new team, but I could be wrong. At least new in StarCraft. Oh yeah, okay. So I don't know the like where Basilisk comes from. Let's see if we can figure it out here. But they've been doing a lot lately. They have the big brain bouts that I know Roddy's been doing. He's been working with them a lot. They're sending Bayo to Katowice to do a lot of that extra production stuff, which I think is super, super cool. They increased the prize pool of Home Story Cup 21. And yeah, now they have Cyril on their team, which is just crazy. Of course, Trigger's on the team as well. Just about as big of an announcement as Cyril on the team was when they announced Trigger was on the team. But yeah, they got quite some funding going on. I'm looking forward to seeing them continue to do great things in StarCraft. Hoping that it is a pure-hearted enterprise, as StarCraft and esports in general has been bogged down by many a sad story of teams. If this seems pretty unlikely, though, as they've already done quite a lot of good. They've already put quite a lot of money where their mouth is, you know what I mean? In any case, talk about this game a little bit as these lings get in here. Try to do a little sneaky damage, but I think mostly just trying to scout. Whoop, probe. He's gonna live. And it's a Stargate opener, Oracle opener here for Classic. So, yeah, nothing too much. Nothing too much to talk about until we get some more action going on in this game. Is Sleep a real StarCraft player? Oh my god. A retired Korean Zerg player. I had no idea. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I just never would have guessed. Well, I hope he's out there having happy dreams. Ooh, cheeky Evo Chamber in the main here for Dark. See if the Oracle spots that. Evo Chamber in the main means +1 melee. Every time. Every time. If Dark builds something different, it's only because his brain is so big. But I think even Dark is susceptible to the +1 melee in the main build, and it will in fact be that +1 melee in the main. Twilight Council here out of Classic. It's going to be Glaives. Okay, Glaives follow up to an Oracle. I mean, this is the classic build. Pun definitely intended, definitely used before by me, probably while he was doing this build, because it is genuinely kind of an older school build. Been around a while. Stargate opener to Glaives. Nothing really too special about it. Dark is going into Banes to follow this up with that +1 melee. That Bane Nest, though, is very far away from being done. Glaives is an extremely quick upgrade. I'm a little bit worried here that Dark might not have quite enough out to defend, but is Dark after all. He's got 5 Overlords on the way, and once those start popping, he is going to start pushing out Lings. There they go, immediately getting into 12. As soon as that Bane Nest is done, the ones that are out will probably turn into Banelings. I don't know if Dark has a full read on this. Oh, never mind. Dark doesn't care. Yeah, sorry. My bad. Didn't see that creep highway that was going forward. Dark is attacking. Dark is getting aggressive. This is not going to be defensive play. He's like, oh, you have Adepts? I have +1 melee Ling Bane. Unfortunately, Ling's not particularly good against Adepts. It's got to be, a lot of the pressure is going to be on those Banelings to get decent connections. Lings are going for a counterattack. This is really, really nice for Dark. The Banes are going to try to hold back home. So Stasis Trap recall on the Adepts as those Lings have killed 8 probes. And the Lings have really done their job here. And now we might have the Ling Bane follow-up. +1 melee is done. Classic trying to get an Immortal out, but Immortal's not really good against Lings, or well, not really good against Lings. They're decent against Banes. Takes a lot of Banes to kill an Immortal. Classic looking for this army. I think he's going to spot some of it. There's Banes trying to get into the natural, but that Immortal is actually in a great position to stop that, so the Banes are going to go after the Adepts. Shield Battery turns on Overcharge, but it dies immediately. Bane's trying to come forward. Great splits here from Classic. Are there enough Lings in the follow-up to kill this? No, actually. All the Lings have already died. The Glaive Adepts doing so much work there. We do have battle report here. Classic killing a lot more than Dark. Yeah, that went fantastic. Only 6 Adepts went down for all of that. That is actually wild. Very, very cost efficient here for Classic, who's got a 3rd base up and running. He's actually up in workers. Classic's got to be feeling very, very good about this. Lings sharking, looking, sharking. Not gonna find much though. Do have to be careful. This army kills Lings very quickly. Blink on the way, +1 on the way for Classic, so he's getting ready to follow this up with a different set of units. Dark is getting into Roaches and a Lair, so quite late on the Lair. Roach is about the only other thing he can build here until that Lair is done. Well, you know, Roach, Ravager, Ling, Bane, pretty good composition. What is up, Skitoo? Good to see you in chat. Yeah, I don't think Big Gabe will ever leave Mouse Sports. That's one team player combo that might just stay forever. I hope it does. Ling's getting a really nice surround here, actually, and yeah, we're seeing that +1 melee really come into play as they get that full surround, and they just crush through all of that. Only the Immortal left standing at the end of it all. Really living up to its name, that Immortal. Bane speed started up, Roach speed started up, Dark just going to try to pump out more and more units, trying to delay any push from Classic. Classic's going to take a 4th base, but as Blink and Storm are finishing up here, will move out onto the map. Psystorm going to be super powerful against the Ling Bane. Archon's really not bad in this situation either. Those Immortals start to become more and more relevant too as the Roach count increases for Dark. But Dark getting into an Infestation Pit now, hinting at a future tech path. Roach is threatening to hit down here. Those Lings are going to run by, but they're going to come join up with everything. No banelings in this composition though, and the lack of banelings here is a little bit worrisome for Dark. Oh my god. I wasn't really sure what the tech was going to be here for Dark, but we did just see Swarm Host used against Classic by Sue, and Dark must be on that same kind of page. It's really interesting to see Swarm Host start to come back. I actually feel like I haven't seen many Swarm Hosts used in kind of a long time, but now we have them in 2 series in a row. I actually feel like I saw some last week too. It's very cool to see some Swarm Hosts here out of Dark. And I actually think this is a really nice position for Dark to bust these Swarm Hosts out. It is a big army from Classic, but it's a ton of Swarm Hosts. 15 Swarm Hosts out. It's going to be 30 Locusts per pop if he uses them all. The army is in a nice position here. There's a shield battery, some storms. It's going to be able to take down these Locusts without really taking much damage. That's actually super, super good for Classic. Very important. Some of those Locusts won't quite make it. They weren't all bunched up together. And now as Classic knows these Locusts are on cooldown for a long time, he's going to start pushing out here, start trying to take down some units, taking a good trade, storming the Roaches, storming the Banelings, blinking backwards. Classic doing a fantastic job, but some Banelings run into the third. 16 probes going down, and Dark going to pull back. He's got a great position on the ramp here. Classic's going to keep on pushing, but now we've got the Locust puffing back up. And oh no, where are the storms on those Locusts? There's some nice storms, but still a ton of damage going down from these Locusts. Are there enough Roach, Ravager, Ling Bane? Sorry, just Roach, Ling Bane here from Dark to hold his base? It looks like the answer is no. He's just going to evacuate it. He knows he got a lot of drone damage on the other side of the map. Feels like he just kind of desperately needs to hold on here. Banelings actually kill a High Templar. Ooh, still no Locust ready to pop yet. They still have about a quarter of that cooldown left to go. The storms are just so good here. I think Classic is finally out of them though. Are we going to see some Locusts pop? There's 2. Here's the rest of them. And I think Classic needs to just get the hell out of here. He's down to just Blink Stalkers and a Warp Prism, and that is a good set of units to retreat with. And once those Locusts are down, I don't know if there's enough left from Dark to actually keep fighting these Stalkers. He's going to drop a couple of Biles down, but the Biles get dodged. The Locusts are gone, and Dark's got to get out of there with his 5 units. And he does have more Lings and Banes back here, but that base going down as well. Classic taking down 2 bases. And now it is a 4-base Protoss against the 3-base Zerg. Yes, these Swarm Hosts are still around. Yes, they still have a lot of potential, but Classic so far hasn't really let their full potential shine. Ooh, Rainer was using Swarm Host recently against Showtime. That's really cool. It's really cool to start seeing this comeback. I mean, Swarm Hosts were the reason that Ground Toss felt very, very unviable 3 years ago. It's why we saw so many 2-base plays out of Protoss against Zerg, and then once the Void Ray change happened, why we saw just straight Void Rays. So it's cool to see Zergs kind of rediscover the concept of going into Swarm Hosts. Classic doing a good job against them in the last couple of games we've seen so far, but loses that Nexus, so the Locust finally getting some damage on Classic side of the map instead of just desperately trying to defend. This run by gets caught and just eviscerated as 3 Lings will make it over to where this cannon is. This counterattack doing quite a bit better though. These are 2/2 Lings, and I think they do have Adrenal. These Lings just chewing through Stalkers. It's also keeping Classic back, and that's going to buy more time for these Locusts to be available, which they are, and Classic's going to have to just run away once again. Forcing the Locusts to pop out on the map, though, is always really nice. I think Dark might try to just send these up towards the base. It's got another Link counterattack down here, but a Warping of Zealots will take care of that. Ooh, the Locusts don't have a ton of time left, but I think they still have enough DPS to get this base down. Oh, they turn around. Definitely not if they do that. Banelings morphing here, going to try to dive into the 4th base, but Classic's pushing forward, eating Biles. We did see that being a big problem in the last series against Sue. And he's going to try to push into this fourth base of Dark. Dark trying to retake his other base as well, but it's getting hit by a few Zealots right now. And Dark's actually in a lot of trouble. He's going to pop one more set of Locusts here to try to defend. Those Locusts land on an Archon, they take it down, but that gives Classic enough time to start retreating some of the rest of these units. Both players losing over 20 workers. Looks like the Locust might be able to catch an Immortal. Good catch on that Immortal. That is going to be about it, though. Does Dark have enough to fight this army without those Locusts? These Blink Stalkers, they don't have any armor upgrades, but they don't seem to care. They're going to blink forward and try to get on top of the Swarmos. Oh, man, no burrow here for these Swarmos, and the Storms are just so brutal. A couple of Biles go down, but GG gets called. Classic takes game number 1. He says Swarm Hosts? No. No. Swarm Hosts? No. You don't understand, Dark. This is not 2017, 2018. Swarm Hosts don't work as well as they used to. It's worth noting that there was an attack by Dark early on not a lot of workers, not a lot behind it. It was not all in, but quite committed. That did absolutely nothing. Traded terribly. Dark was in a very bad position after that Lingban attack early on. He turned the Queens around when he saw the Glaive to Depths. I just don't think he was ready for Glaive to Depths to come out. And that can be a real benefit of pulling back a style that's a bit older. What Classic did there. You're not always as likely to remember those, or I guess be expecting those older styles, and they required specific counters, especially Glaive to Depths. You had to be, there's a reason that certain builds are kind of the norm and the standard at certain times in the meta. And Classic taking advantage a little bit of what Dark might be doing at the moment. Talk about the game. You know, I'm not a good enough Kazaster like Fear Dragon to talk about the game all the time. I know that when Fear Dragon's in Katowice, you know, as the premier, the best, even really the only Kazaster at Katowice, he'll be talking about the game nonstop. Absolutely nonstop. If only I was that good of a Kazaster. I'm more of a disaster, you know what I mean? Let's get into game 2. So I can talk about the game like this Twitch chatter is asking me to, telling me to even. Spawning in the upper right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the Red Zerg player. 2019 World Champion. It is Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Dark. And his opponent, somebody who he took down to win that World Championships. Somebody who had the best game of the round of 8 in those World Championships. Building those Blink DTs and getting into Rogue's main. It is Classic. That was the most exciting live game of StarCraft I've ever watched. I hope one day I will get to witness more. It'd be really cool to cast like a live StarCraft event. Even if it's something smaller. It'd be a lot of fun. Maybe one day I can work my way into a cheese. Some cheeky Northwest tournament. Let's get it going. Some drunk Canadian, hit me up. Let's go. It'd be super sick. Maybe when Stormgate comes out. There'll just be events happening everywhere. All the premier casters won't be able to go. And they'll finally call in the Chickenman. It's cool to see Classic take a map off of Dark, though, because I was just talking with Bayo about how we haven't seen a ton of Classic lately. for a while. He was playing pretty regularly in these, and he looked decent. But taking a map off Dark, I feel like is always very, very impressive. It's good to see him looking that strong.
He is a map, but he's also a chicken.
Oh, 47 is... Thank you for gifting a sub to Fear Dragon. Welcome to the flock, Fear Dragon. Welcome back, I should say. But we'll see if Classic can take any more maps off of Dark. It would be really sick to see him win here. But I have a feeling that Classic isn't going to show any super fancy builds. I mean, last game was a pretty standard build. Same for Dark. We've got Katowice around the corner. Players are just going to be playing fairly standard stuff. Things that have been seen and figured out that aren't likely to be any sort of worry that your opponents are going to notice. Who knows? Scarlet could be taking notes for a match against Classic. Hero could be watching Dark right now like, what are you doing? What do you got against Protoss, bud? Oh, if only Cheese Adelphia were still running. A cheese-like tournament. How about that? That's right. I forgot there was a whole thing, huh? There's a rest in pepperonis. We'll make our own cheese, Fear Dragon. Let's do a Northwest cheese. West Coast cheese. Instead of Cheese Adelphia, it'll be San Francisco. There's a lot of links coming across. It's just 2 at a time, but a handful. Both Oracles are going to come back. One of them is going to turn on. The second one turns on. A little bit worried here for Classic using all that energy, but a couple of Adepts going to warp in as well. It should be plenty to hold. We have a Tastalope here. This is the map with 3 Tastalopes and 3 Artosalopes. Very worth noting, as both Tasteless and Artosis will be at Katowice. We will finally have Tastosis at the big event again. We haven't had them there in years, and I'm sure there are reasons for that, but in any case, I'm glad to see that we finally got them back for a big World Championships. Katowice has been the World Championships for the last few years, and it just doesn't feel the same without some Tastosis in there. I also miss hearing both Tasteless and Artosis cast with other casters. One of my favorite things about how StarCraft casting usually works is there's a lot of overlap and interplay between the casters, so you have different casting combinations. Oh, where's this drone going? This drone's trying to go hang out with the Nidus Worm. Anyways, we'll get back to talking about casting talent at Katowice soon here, as Dark is putting the pressure on with a lot of Lings, and it looks like it's just going to be a Nidus follow-up with the Queens, with the Lings. Nidus going down in the base here for Dark as well. Classic trying to hold on, but he doesn't have any shield batteries here, and the lack of shield batteries is so painful. Look at this one desperately not doing anything at all. And no shield batteries in the natural. Finally 2 going down here, but the Queens are already here. The wall is open. Classic gonna stop the wall from going down, although that does kind of stop these Lings from getting through as well. But look, they're gonna squeeze their way in anyways. Oh my god. Probe's getting pulled to help out, but I just don't think it's gonna be enough, as this Nidus is full of Zerglings. And it looks like Dark might be able to take this one with the cheeky Ling Queen Nidus. Colossus just not quite gonna make it. Overcharge has already been used. Nidus going down in the main. These Lings are chewing on a Nexus. My friends, I think that is about that. In game number 2. Gonna be all tied up. GG. Dark evens the score. Oh, I did see that, Fear Dragon. I did. I remember you linked that. Man. I did want to go to that. It's just a little bit too far, though. It was the one in San Jose. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it. Yeah, it's like, oh, tempting. It's tempting. In 10 years, the youngling Stormgate casters will tell tales about him. When I was a lad and Stormgate was just coming out, I remember playing StarCraft with the StarCraft community. Back in my day, you had to use the mouse and keyboard. Now these younglings just think and the game does it for them. That'll be me. That's my impression of me in 10 years. No, but I am looking forward to hearing Tasteless and Artosis cast with other casters again. I always really enjoy that. Maybe even with good old Fear Dragon. That'll be good. I think it will be good. Now let's get into this game, which is also good. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Dragon Scales. Evening up this series with a cheeky Link Queen Nidus. It is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Dark. Clearly favored on this map as the Dragon player on the Dragon map. His opponent in the lower right-hand corner. Teamless because a team would just hold him down. No team can contain his chin or his power. It's classic. Yeah, when is that event in San Jose? I'm thinking about it. I think it would be a lot of fun to go to like a small event like that. I don't know, like I got some United miles. How much does it cost for a couple days in San Jose? My hope is that it grows. Same. Big same. I was thinking it would be fun to try to put on like a LAN in Seattle. But I don't know. It's a lot of admin work. I think it'd be super fun. I don't know if there's enough of a market for it. Honestly, if Stormgate is massive. Stormgate takes the world by storm. I don't know. Might be organizing a Stormgate LAN in a year and a half. You know? Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for that game. I cannot even begin to describe it. I just get more excited for it. Like the more I think about it and the more I hear about it. I know Neuro gave that interview. But like the day before he did that interview with Beowulf, we were just chatting about it, and he just said a lot of the same things he said in the interview to me and Apop, but like just hearing that and like there's no like content need to say anything hype or exciting, but he was saying all of those same things and giving all of his thoughts and feelings on going there and playing the game, and oh man, it got me so stoked. Just, it sounds like it's developing beautifully. You know what else is developing beautifully? Is this 3-minute, 30-second Roach Warren in Dark's main. Because talking about the game is a good thing to do. Roach Warren, I feel like if that Roach Warren was like, I don't know, out here or over here, I wouldn't hate it too much. Not hate it, but I wouldn't notice it even. But this feels like a cheeky Roach Warren. Whenever you put tech in your main like this at this time. I was like, what are you doing with that, bud? And it's dark, so he's just going to build roaches, is the answer. Classic going for the Nexus. He does have 2 Oracles out, though, so should be able to get a scout on this and hold any push from Dark. Doesn't look like Dark's going to commit super hard. Oh, there's 3 more roaches. He is going across the map. Yeah, there's not a lot here from Classic. No shield battery at the 3rd. And no shield battery at the natural ramp. Again, I wonder why Classic just hates shield batteries. Oracle's trying to get some damage done here. They will find 6 drones, but one of the Oracles goes down. Very inopportune timing as the push is here. And these 2 depths are going to be in some trouble. There's 4 more depths in the main as this was a Glaives build. So this 3rd base is maybe in some trouble here. Void Ray started up as these ground units try to just desperately hold on. Again, the lack of shield batteries, though, is just so painful here. A couple of Zealots as well. This Oracle wants to turn on, but not yet. This 3rd base is under assault from the Lings. Okay, Oracle going to turn on to stop those Ravagers from coming up. Really, really nice use of the Oracle energy there. Very limited Oracle energy. Void Ray is about to pop, but it's not rallied down. Classic, bring the Void Ray. Oh, it's trying. It's trying. Probe's coming in, trying to hold position and block the Roaches for just a little bit. Enough time for that Void Ray to get out. Classic will lose this 3rd base, though. Oh, man, and Dark is not done. Dark is, well, he is droning behind this. And Classic, who knows he's not going to be able to hold that 3rd, is just trying to focus down these Ravagers. Does get a couple of them before they pop, and it looks like he'll get 1 more here. Yeah, so that actually ends up working out okay for Classic on the tail end of things. But no 3rd base, and Dark did macro behind this, is continuing to macro behind this. And he's put himself in a pretty nice position off the back of this attack. Still is these Lings sharking around, so a 3rd base is not easy to take by any means. Classic's got to commit a good amount of ground army to deal with that. Void Ray moves across the map, but not really likely to get much done here. And it's actually going to be a Blink follow-up. Surprised we're not seeing more Glaive depths out. Since Glaives is... Oh, no, he canceled Glaives. Okay. Canceled Glaives. That makes sense why he's not building them anymore. To get more units out, I'd imagine. Rest in pepperonis. That Oracle did not dodge the biles fast enough. Void Ray again looking for some damage, but not really finding it. Dark just defending back at home while he gets up to 69 drones. And drops the Infestation Pit. Are we going to see more Swarm Hosts? I wonder if we're going to see Swarm Hosts at Katowice now. I was like, oh, well, maybe, but it's starting to feel like maybe Swarm Hosts are the strat against Protoss again. Or maybe they're definitely absolutely not the strat, and Dark's just trying to make any Protoss that are at the event think they're the strat, right? He could be going for the double mind game here on any the Protoss players that he's going to be facing soon. Kind of cool to see him going for this, though. I mean, this is, like, for real, 2018 stuff. This is how Zerg dominated Protoss for, like, a year and a half. Was Nidus Swarmos. It was brutal. It stopped any ground armies that Protoss had. It was a real struggle for most Protosses to deal with for a long time. They Glaive the Depths and, you know, 2 base pushes with Immortals and Sentries were really the way Protoss had to get around it. But if they didn't win with those pushes, the follow-up was a Nidus full of Swarmos that they couldn't really do much about. Storm is it done? Storm is done. These High Templar don't quite have it yet. These first Locusts are going to dive right on top of these probes, right on top of this Nexus. However, great Storms. And that's the beauty of having Storm against this. Classic holds that very easily, takes very little damage to that first wave of Locusts. And that is really, really nice. Now we've got this Void Ray sharking around for Nidus Worms as well. And with Prismatic Alignment, it will take this worm down very, very quickly, especially once it pops. These Swarm Hosts can't come out. And so far, a great start to defending these Swarm Hosts from Classic. Now that does not mean it is over by any means. Dark is fully maxed out, which means he's got a big army on top of the 16 Swarm Hosts. He's going to Nidus through the middle of the map just to get some reinforcements. Drop some biles that Classic once again eats. But forcing these Locusts to pop, they're a little bit further away than I think Dark might like. They're still going to have half of their cooldown going. And a Nidus just went off in the main. Some Storms going down to kill the Locust, but now the rest of the army is here. How many Storms are left? Just that one? Oh, there's another one. Hits some of the Roaches. Super Shield Battery gets taken down. This Nidus actually got killed as well, so Dark's just going to fall back. Still good hold from Classic, but can he keep this up? Dark is on 4 bases. He's on 70 workers. He can keep resupplying this army, which is fairly small. And the Locusts, of course, resupply for free. Locust diving down, getting on top of some of these Stalkers. Storm's trying to take them down, but they're so plentiful that they're in a nice big concave. Another Nidus goes down to the right-hand side. This one a little bit far away from where that Void Ray was. Classic keeps holding on, but his supply has dropped a little bit now. And Darks is staying strong at 200. See this Nidus come into play at some point with the Locusts, but so far Dark just keeping them on the front lines. Oh man, and Nidus continuing to replenish. Getting into a Lurker Den now, so Classic is holding on. He's barely holding on. Even if he clears this ground army, he's gonna have Locusts, or he's gonna have Lurkers to worry about, as Dark will be falling back. But I don't even know if that's going to happen, as now the Locusts are getting on top of this third base. The probe line is getting demolished, and this base might be in some trouble here. But it looks like Classic's going to try to come down and hold on to it. Needs to not eat those biles. 2 High Templar going down. Classic again, just tanking those biles to the face in these last few games. Another Nidus going down over here. Locust popping out to the top side. Nidus, they're going to throw those Locusts into the main base. Oh, and Dark is just trading with this army. He's totally fine taking that trade, losing a few High Templar, but keeping this army all the way back while the Locusts get into the main, start taking down this production. This is just brutal. And now with the Locusts here, another Nidus Worm is going to go down. A couple of gates, and that Templar Archives die. There's a Prism on the way. Classic is moving across the map, but his army supply is at 60 to the 115 of his opponent, and Dark has a bunch of Lurkers morphing right now that there's just no answer for from Classic. He lost a ton of probes. He does not have a 4th base. And the Locusts are going to pop out to the top side once again. They're going to drop their, the Swarm Hosts rather, they're going to drop their Locusts. A few of them push the Stalkers away, and the rest of them are going to head towards the main. They could probably kill this Nexus if they wanted to. Or you could just A-move them in and not worry about it. I'd love to see Focus Fire on the Nexus. He's going to kill a bunch of pylons and supply block Classic. Classic's got 1 army, 1 push, and no detection. And he can't make it because he's supply blocked. And by the time that detection gets there, oh, he does have an observer nearby. It's still, though, he's waiting so long. We've got Lings counterattacking in this base. We've got a Nidus in the main base. There are so many Lurkers! 15 Lurkers here. There's just no way Classic's army wins this fight. Not a chance. And he's losing his 3rd base. He's got that Nidus in his main is popping out Swarm Hosts that are popping out Locusts. And my friends, this is looking like Dark going up 2-1 in this series. The Swarm Host finally working today against Classic. Ah, yeah. That's it. GG. Classic's army gets cleaned up, and that is the last straw, as it were, in that game. I love that cute little warty frost giant emote. That's adorable. Maybe I should get one of those too, you know? Can I just copy warty? Is that legal? And get a frost giant emote? Can I get a frost giant, whatever the little frost giant dude's name is? Can I get him but wearing a chicken outfit? I'm gonna need one of those stat. All right, we're going to Grisvan for map number 4. Could be the final map. I hope it's not. I hope we get a game 5. All right, hop on in. Here we are spawning. In the lower right-hand corner of Grisvan, we have the red Zerg player. Taking a couple of Nidus-based games there. It is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Dark. Like, I haven't seen aggressive Nidus play like that in a minute. But of course it would be Dark doing it. His opponent in the upper left-hand corner, very familiar with dying to that kind of aggressive Nidus play. It is classic. Getting a reminder of what it was like to play PvZ before he went to his military service. With a cowboy hat. Oh my god. Good call, 47 is. We need the cowboy little frost. Does the frost giant have a name? It's gotta have a name, right? What's its name? Do we know? I hope it has a name. What do we got? Game 4, Stargate. Classic stuff out of Classic once again. I still don't know how to actually pronounce this map name. Grisvan? Grevan? It's funny, Bale brought up Jagannatha, or Jagannatha, or Yaganatha, or Jagannatha. I feel like there's been a few maps that people aren't really sure how to pronounce, or people pronounce differently. There's a few players, too, that people pronounce differently. XY is one of them. There's an actual way to pronounce that, and I don't remember what it is, and I feel bad. Oh, a Void Ray opener from Classic. I wasn't expecting that. I was definitely expecting Oracles. Void Ray is an interesting choice. There are a couple Overlords nearby. Could be easy pickings for the Void. Yeah, Void gonna go find this Overlord first, which the Adept is spotting. And then knows it can come back and grab this guy. Dark gonna have to replace a couple of Overlords. Well, that means the Void Ray isn't pressuring on this side as well, so makes it easy for Dark. There is an Oracle follow-up. It's not just straight to Voids. Oracle getting pushed away by Queens pretty much immediately. There are some spores around as well. Ooh, Evo Chambers. Interesting place for an Evo Chamber from Dark. Feels like it really won't be scouted here, so it is going to be that +1 melee. It's funny he doesn't put it in the main for this one because he knows the Oracle is more likely to spot the main than on that other map. Good pull here from Dark. Only gets one drone trapped. But as I say that, the Oracle goes right over the Evo Chamber, sees the Baneling nest, and now Classic has to be guessing what's up. But the Oracle gets taken down by these Queens that are chilling at the fort. Interessante. Oh, and it's a Glaives build again. Wow, what? This feels so similar to what happened recently. Didn't Sue, wasn't it on this map that there was a Glaives build from Classic? And game one, this is just game one again, actually. Now that I think about it. It's just game one, but on a different map. All right, well, the Adepts are here. Dark, I don't know if he's surprised by this or if he was expecting it. There are some transfuses available, but not a lot, so Queens are going to start to go down. Oh, the Adept's going to finish that Shade right on top of the Banelings. Whoa! My God, none of them finish. Actually insane. But the Lings getting a good amount of damage done in the meantime. So the Adept count is lowering a little bit. There's a Roachborn finishing up in the main. A couple of drones going to start to go down here. But the next set of Adepts is here at the third, putting pressure on, killing some of these drones. Adepts in the main cancel that Shade. We are going to stay here and keep stopping drones from mining. The ones in the third are going to die. Do we have more showing up? We do. Could kill some creep tumors. No, we're just going to move on past the creep tumors. Who needs them? Who needs to kill them? Now we got 5 Adepts in the natural, but they get surrounded by Lings. These are +1 melee Lings. They're going to deal with these Adepts quite quickly. A couple of Adepts left at the third. All right. 9 drones went down. 59, 60 Lings went down. Take a look at the trades. Actually slightly Dark favored. Classic, though. Chilling up at 66 probes. Quite happy back at home for the time being. Oh, no. Rallies an Immortal across. Recall this bad boy. No. Not noticing it. Focus maybe more on the Adepts, which are getting some damage done. Recall on the Immortal is too late. Just apologize to that Immortal. And that means the recall is used. So these Adepts are kind of stuck out here. Cancel that Shade and try to run away. During all this, Classic is taking a fourth, kind of an exposed fourth here. But should be able to drop some static defense. I feel like Classic has put himself in a pretty solid position. Because Dark isn't moving across the map. He's not counterattacking, at least not yet. But he does have centrifugal hooks on the way. He's got +2 melee on the way. Macro hatch. But it is 4 base to 4 base. The worker count is even. These Adepts are going to make sure that it stays pretty much even. 6 drones went down in total, but I think this Adept is going to do much. Let's see. Nope. The Classic has been allowed to get this base up and running. I'm surprised he's not putting more static defense down, like shield batteries near these cannons. Be quite good, I would say. Cannons and shield batteries, kind of the best combo of static defense in the game. all just ground army here for Classic, getting into the classic composition of Immortals, Storm, Blink Stalkers. I imagine there will be Charge Lots and Archons added eventually. Ling's looking for a run by. Right now, Dark staying on that low-tech army, getting a bunch of Ravagers out, though. As +1 missile attack starts up, it looks like he's going to put some pressure on. Could definitely go for some Biles from the low ground here onto the probes. I would kind of love to see that. But wants to step forward. Has a Ling run by ready to maybe kill this 5th base. Oh, it's Lings and Banes. Going to try to get into the natural. See if Classic is ready with the door here. He does have that base, so he's going to have vision from down there. But he's not focusing. He's not paying attention. He doesn't have a Warpin available. Oh, man, there's Banelings coming into this base. Not really getting too much done, but these ones look like they might be able to get some probe kills. We're going to move away from that as the main fight is happening. Classic dropping some big storms on the Lings and Banes, but going to lose this base. He did lose 14 probes over here, and actually with that +2 melee, that's going to turn into 20 probes with a big final Baneling splash there. Now, Classic does have a pretty beefy army, but it looks like Dark wants to go for a counterattack again. Got more Banes down here going around. Oh, no. Oh, geez. Oh, no. Oh, geez. Oh, they're pulling back. All right, Classic's pushing forward. Biles just trying to zone and buy time so that these Lings and Banes can get a lot of extra damage done. Oh, these Lings are getting right on top of the 0 static defense base. Cannons and shield batteries getting taken down by the Lings and Banes over here. Classic's base is in shambles. He needs to go get counter damage done, and he needs to get it done now. Transfuses going off all over the place. These Queens are about to run out of juice, but again, they are just buying so much time here for Dark. A lot of storms being used. Dark's dropping Biles all over the place. Classic is down to 29 workers. He's on 3 bases. He does kill one of Dark's bases, but Dark doesn't want to let him keep on moving forward, so he's going to dive in with the Ling Bane Rush Ravager and start trimming into this army. He might be able to just straight up take this fight. The Void Ray going to go down to the Biles. Not quite. But it looks like the Stalkers are dead anyways. That Void Ray finally does go down. The Ling reinforcement is going to be too much, and Dark wins the series 3-1. Realizing a lot of Swarmos in that series, which is very cool to see. Good to see Classic is still able to trade games with the champ. But unfortunately for him, Dark is really good. Too good today. That is going to do it for our grand finals of this EPT Open Cup. Dark wins yet another one.